and sometimes the news finds you.
All stations can keep up. At adabafm, we'll not only give you news at the speed of nanosecond, but we'll also break it down with up-to-date analysis, informed opinions, and distinct professionalism. That's why you love us. Adaba 88.9 FM, your go-to station.
It's midday. Good afternoon. I am Olabisi Olani Oluwasegun with Global News in the news. Nigerian military to embark on joint operation with Niger troops. Israeli airstrike kills 2 near southern Gaza's Khan Yunis. Impeached South Korea president resists arrest over martial law bid.
This is the news.
Now the news in detail. The Defense Headquarters has reaffirmed its commitment to conducting joint operations and patrols with Nigerian troops in efforts to end the activities of terrorist groups in the northwest and other parts of the border states between the two countries. This comes despite allegations leveled against Nigeria by Nigeria's military leader, General Abdurrahman Chiani. Chiani had accused Nigeria of allowing France to use its territory as a staging ground for destabilizing his country. He further alleged that the French government offered Nigeria funds to establish a military base in Borno State, but federal government denied the allegation. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, said notwithstanding the allegations, the Nigerian military would continue to hold operations alongside its Nigerian counterpart. Ivory Coast has announced that French troops will withdraw from the West African nation soon. In an end-of-year address, Ivory Coast President Alassane Ouattara said the move was a reflection of the modernization of the country's armed forces. He added that the military infantry battalion of Port Bouet, that is run by the French army, would be handed over to Ivorian troops. Separately, Senegal, which last month announced France would have to close its military bases on its territory, confirmed the withdrawal would be completed by the end of 2025. Military leaders of Niger, Mali and Burkina Faso have moved closer to Russia since kicking out French troops from their countries. A gunman has shot 12 people dead, including 2 children, in southern Montenegro. Police say at least some of Wednesday's deaths happened inside a restaurant in the Cetinje area, following a verbal argument between guests, according to the authorities. It was later confirmed that the attacker had killed himself in the incident. The government has declared 3 days of national mourning from Thursday, with Prime Minister Milojko Spajic saying the shooting had shrouded the country in black. Also, Interior Minister Danilo Saranovic called the incident a consequence of disturbed interpersonal relations. And now police has commenced the investigation into an explosion outside the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. It said the driver was killed and 7 people were injured, which are mainly minors. Report says the truck was rented in Colorado and arrived in the city on Wednesday morning, less than 2 hours before the detonation. The FBI said an Islamic State group flag was found in the truck, and they are investigating the attack as an act of terrorism. In an address, U.S. President Joe Biden said the White House is tracking the incident and investigating whether there is any possible connection with the attack in New Orleans, which left 15 dead early on New Year's Day. You're on to Global News from Adaba 88.9 FM Akure, transmitting from Ilaramoki. After the break, impeached South Korea president resists arrest over martial law bid. We'll bring you details in the second part of the bulletin. Please join us again.
The news on Adaba 88.9 FM.
Thank you for staying tuned. For news, updates, and live streaming, visit our website www.adaba889.fm or download Adaba FM app on Google Play Store. You can be part of us on our social media platforms www.facebook.com/AdabaFM88.9 on Facebook, at Adaba889FM on Instagram and X. You can also provide us information via email, newsroom@adaba889.fm. Now to the rest of the news. Israeli bombing of the town of Bani Shuahila, east of Khan Yunis, has killed at least 2 people. Earlier, medical sources reported that 13 Palestinians have been killed since dawn in Israeli attacks on the Gaza Strip, 11 in southern Khan Yunis city. Gaza's health ministry stated that Israel's air and ground war has killed more than 45,550 Palestinians, as women and children make up more than half of the affected. Aid agencies say Israeli authorities are counting and continuing to severely restrict the entry of humanitarian aid into Gaza. Report says more than a month after global food security experts called for immediate action to avert famine in the war-torn enclave. In an alert on November 8, 2024, the Famine Review Committee said some 91% of Gaza's 1.95 million people face high levels of acute food insecurity, which include an estimated 345,000 people facing famine. The UN's food agency said some 68% of Gaza's cropland, 52% of its agricultural wells, and 44% of its greenhouse areas have been damaged. Impeached South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol has resisted arrest for a 3rd day after vowing to fight authorities seeking to question him over his failed martial law bid. The embattled leader issued the bungled declaration on December 3rd that led to his impeachment and has left him facing arrest, imprisonment, or at worst, the death penalty. Supporters and opponents of Yoon have since camped outside his presidential residence, while members of his security team have blocked attempted police raids in a dramatic standoff. Yoon has gone to ground but remained unrepentant as the crisis has rolled on, issuing a defiant message to his base days before an arrest warrant expires on January the 6th. The Republic of Korea is currently in danger due to internal and external forces threatening its sovereignty and the activities of anti-state elements in the country. Now to end global news, a recap of our top stories. Defense Headquarters has reaffirmed its commitment to conducting joint operations and patrols with Nigerian troops. Israeli strikes at Bani Shuahila town of Khan Yunis has killed at least 2 people. Impeached South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol has resisted arrest for a 3rd day after his failed martial law bid in the country. And that's Global News. It was edited by Sukomi Elujaba. I am Olabisi Olani Yoluwasegun. Thank you for listening. Good afternoon.